This is the truth about fashion over 50 and why the new 2026 barrel jean trend is instantly cheapening your look. Right now, the fashion industry is pulling a massive fast one on you. They are pushing a silhouette that turns high-status, elegant women into bow-legged caricatures. They call it modern art and architectural, but your mirror is calling it a disaster. This is not just about a pair of pants. It is a silent attack on your authority and your silhouette. We are not here to play dress up or chase our glory days. We are here to survive the biggest denim shift in 20 years. There is a hidden reason why the big brands are desperate to sell you this barrel look, and it has nothing to do with how you look and everything to do with a secret they are hiding about your changing proportions. Why is the hottest trend of the season actually your biggest style mistake? And what is the one stovepipe secret that the style elites are keeping for themselves? Start with the hard numbers, not the hype. The so-called barrel jean is engineered with one goal: volume at the wrong place. We're talking about a leg that swells out at the calf, right where most of us would rather see a clean line, then pinches back toward the ankle like someone tried to airbrush a balloon animal onto your lower half. The average barrel cut, across brands from Zara to Balenciaga, clocks in at a mid-calf width that is 1.25 times the actual calf measurement. On a 38-centimeter calf, that is a pattern-mandated bulge of almost 48 centimeters, far wider than any classic straight or stovepipe jean. Here's the dirty secret. The hem lands smack at the widest part of your calf, not just grazing it. That's not an accident. Pattern drafters place the hem at 75% of the inseam, right where your leg curves out, then taper it back in by just a few centimeters. The effect: instead of a long vertical leg, you get a horizontal band that visually slices you in half. The so-called architectural shape is really just a math problem gone rogue. Let's break it down like we're in the fitting room, tape measure in hand. If your thigh measures 62 centimeters and your calf is 38 centimeters, the barrel jean's mid-leg flare can add 5 to 7 centimeters of extra fabric right at the calf. That's how you get the infamous weeble-wobble effect. The leg balloons out, then collapses in, and suddenly, you're starring in a cartoon about bow-legged schoolmarms. For apple shapes, that horizontal flare breaks the only vertical line you had, making your lower half look both shorter and wider. Pears, the barrel matches your thigh width to your calf, so your legs become one undifferentiated tube. Rectangles, you finally get some curve, but it's the wrong kind, like someone photoshopped a sausage casing onto your shin. Pattern makers admit there is a ratio threshold. If the barrel width exceeds 1.2 times your calf, the vertical line is broken for every body type. That is not just a theory, it is a rule that shows up in technical fit guides and sewing textbooks. Anna Liu, a veteran pattern drafter, puts it bluntly: start the barrel too low and you've chopped the leg in half. Add more than 3 centimeters of flare and you've lost the line. This is pure geometry. Now, take a breath and picture the measurement overlay graphics those e-commerce sites love to flash: neon lines circling the calf, digital rulers ticking off the difference. That's not for your benefit, it's to distract you from the fact that the numbers never lie. When the hem is wider than your calf by more than 20%, the eye is pulled out, not down. The vertical line, the one that gives you presence and polish, has left the building. This is not about taste, it's geometry. The next time a sales associate chirps about modern volume, ask them to show you the calf circumference. If it is more than 1.2 times your own, you are being sold a style crime in broad daylight. Because you've worked hard to get here, don't let a pair of pants make you disappear. Let's talk about why every ad, every influencer, and every glossy brand email suddenly wants you to believe that architectural denim is the answer to your prayers. Here is the real story. The barrel jean is not just a runway whimsy. It is a cash cow designed in a boardroom. The language is pure theater. Modernist form, volumetric silhouette, sculptural denim. It is all SEO gold, engineered so your search for elegant jeans for women over 50 lands you smack in the middle of a sales funnel. The copywriters do not even bother to hide it. Product pages are laced with art school lingo, but scroll down and there is a split screen. One side, a model in a classic straight leg. The other, the barrel in all its glory with digital tape measures circling that swollen calf. It is not about your vertical line. It is about their bottom line. Here is a number the brands do not want you to see: 12%. That is the average reduction in fabric waste when manufacturers cut a barrel leg from a single rectangular panel instead of tailoring a classic straight or skinny. Less waste means more jeans per roll. And more jeans per roll means fatter margins, even as prices hold steady or tick up. One product manager, off the record at a trade show, called it the most cost-efficient shape we have ever run. Not because it flatters, but because it prints money. The technical director at one of the big United States denim mills spelled it out in a trade interview. The new barrel silhouette reduces cutoff waist and shortens the sewing cycle. That is not a design revolution. That is an assembly line coup. And let us not ignore the copywriting tricks. The very same press release that dubs the barrel jean an artistic reinterpretation of classic denim gets copied, pasted, and recycled by fast fashion and luxury alike. Zara, Balenciaga, Uniqlo, they all push the same architectural fantasy because it lets them justify a higher price for a cheaper, easier-to-produce shape. Even the influencer captions are agency scripted. Modern art for your wardrobe. Denim meets sculpture. As if a ballooned-out calf is a work of genius, not a shortcut. The split-screen comparison is a smoke and mirrors act. The barrel side always gets a cropped ankle, a heel, and a dramatic pose, while the straight leg model stands flat-footed in bad lighting. It is not a fair fight, and it is not meant to be. It is meant to sell you a shape that serves the supply chain, not your silhouette. Here is the kicker. Brands claim this architectural cut is inclusive, but the math says otherwise. By standardizing the thigh and barrel width, they can crank out fewer sizes, cut inventory costs, and move product faster. It is a win for them, but for us, it is an invitation to disappear. Our vertical line broken, our authority diluted, all in the name of efficiency. You have worked hard to get here. Do not let a pair of pants make you disappear. When a sales associate chirps about modern volume, remember whose interests are being served. The numbers do not lie, and neither should your jeans. A tape measure reveals more than numbers. It tells the truth about fit. The difference between jeans that flatter and jeans that fail often comes down to a few centimeters, not fashion slogans. Pattern makers like Nanna Shoe don't guess, they measure, adjust, and insist on rules that work for real bodies, not just models under studio lights. For those whose waist and midsection are their widest points, the challenge is familiar. Jeans that slide forward, a waistband that won't stay put, and the dreaded belt shelf. The barrel jean, with its mid-calf bulge, disrupts the vertical line that is essential for balance. Nanna Shoe's rule is precise. The calf circumference should never exceed 1.2 times your actual calf circumference. If the jeans add more than 3 centimeters at the calf, the silhouette breaks and the line is lost. A hem that tapers to about 1/3 of the thigh measurement and a high rise, never mid-rise, anchors the waistband and restores shape. Ignore these numbers, and the result is a look that feels off, no matter the brand. Those with fuller hips and a smaller waist face a different problem. The barrel cut, which matches thigh to calf, erases curves and creates a straight, blocky line. The solution is a subtle taper after the mid-calf. If thigh and calf circumferences are nearly identical, a 2 to 3 centimeter alteration at the calf, easily handled by most tailors, brings back the vertical drop and prevents the silhouette from turning into a tube. The numbers matter. Too little difference, and the shape disappears. Too much, and the fit looks forced. For straighter figures, the advice that anything goes falls apart in practice. The wrong barrel jean can look borrowed or baggy. The ideal is a barrel width about 1.2 times the calf, with a 3 to 4 centimeter flare at the calf and a 1 to 2 centimeter taper before the ankle. The rise should never dip below 9 centimeters, or the waist vanishes entirely. The cheat sheet is simple: measure calf and thigh. If the difference is over 4 centimeters, skip the barrel. Choose a higher rise, at least 8 centimeters above the natural waist for apples and rectangles, slightly less for pears. Never settle for a hem at the calf's widest point. Pattern makers insist that more than 3 centimeters of flare at the calf erases the line. The vertical line is authority. Don't let careless design erase it. Hormones do not care about runway trends. By the time we hit our 50s, the body's internal math changes, sometimes overnight, sometimes in slow motion, but always with consequences for the waistband. Estrogen drops off a cliff, cortisol creeps up, and suddenly, the lower tummy is no longer a minor detail. It's the main event. Clinical studies peg the average estrogen decline at 70% by age 55. What does that mean in real life? Weight settles lower, around the abdomen and pelvis, and the waist-to-hip ratio quietly inches above 0.85, the line where doctors start talking about central adiposity, and the rest of us just call it the shelf. Here is where barrel jeans become more than a style gamble. They are a physiological mismatch. That so-called modern volume is not just a pattern choice. It is a design that ignores the way our centers of gravity shift after 50. The lower front rise, cut to sit below the belly button, does nothing to support the new weight distribution. Instead of smoothing, it surrenders. Instead of containing, it caves. The waistband slides forward, the fabric balloons out, and suddenly the mirror is reflecting a weeble-wobble effect that no amount of clever posing can erase. I asked Dr. Maya Patel, a board-certified physical therapist who moonlights as a denim fit consultant, for her take. Her answer was blunt. A higher front rise, at least 10 centimeters above the natural waist, acts like a soft brace. It engages your core, supports the lumbar spine, and keeps the waistband anchored. That is not just comfort, that is alignment. She has seen too many women walk into her clinic with back pain traced to sagging, unsupportive jeans. The science lines up with every fitting room horror story. When the rise is too low, the waistband pulls forward, exaggerating the belly, and the barrel leg's extra fabric only adds to the chaos. For apple types, the effect is immediate. The vertical line is lost, and the torso looks shorter. For pear shapes, the volume at the hip collides with the new lower tummy fullness, creating a double bowl, not a single woman's goal. Rectangles get the little waist definition that is left erased by the barrel's horizontal cut. This is not about vanity, it is about physics and biology. The right rise, high, structured, supportive, restores the vertical line. It is the difference between feeling invisible and holding authority in a room. No marketing copy about architectural drama can rewrite the story your body is telling. You have worked hard to get here. Do not let a pair of pants make you disappear. The next time you are in the fitting room, ask yourself, does this waistband feel like support or surrender? Because after 50, we deserve denim that works as hard as we do. A tape measure and a phone are the only tools needed to cut through the noise of the denim aisle. At Nordstrom or Gap, numbers matter more than marketing. Brands like NYDJ, Quince, and Gap stand out for publishing inseam and rise details, making them the go-to choices. Ignore promises of a universal fit. The real benchmark is an ankle-skimming hem, 30 to 31 inches on the inseam, the difference between a polished line and a cropped misfire. The process begins at the tag, not the display. Jeans with a rise under 9 inches go back on the rack. For those with apple or rectangle body types, a rise of at least 10 centimeters above the natural waist is essential. NYDJ's Lift and Fit line offers this, but expect to size down. They stretch a full size with wear. Pear shapes find their match in Quince's high-rise sculpt, with a 9-inch rise and a 30-inch inseam, crafted from a cotton tensile elastane blend that holds its shape. Gap's Flex line is reliable. A 30-inch inseam suits anyone under 5'5", while 31 inches gives a subtle ankle break. If the word barrel appears, check the calf width. Anything more than 1.2 times your own calf is a misstep. Once the right pair is found, the tailor becomes the final authority. A quick taper, 2 to 3 centimeters at the calf, or a hem adjustment just above the shoe transforms the fit. Nordstrom fit specialists confirm a calf taper and an ankle-grazing hem erase the weeble-wobble effect in minutes. 7 minutes, to be exact. If resistance arises, a measurement cheat sheet settles the debate. A 10-second mirror check seals the deal. A vertical line, a sense of presence, not invisibility. The checklist is correct. Rise, ankle-skimming hem, and tailor's card, and it signals a win over the denim guessing game. Here is the checklist, the platinum armor for every fitting room battle. Start with the mirror, not the marketing. Stand tall, feet hip-width apart. Look for one thing, the vertical line. If your jeans create a clean, unbroken seam from hip to ankle, you are already ahead of the game. That is the Stovepipe promise. No ballooning, no mid-calf drama, just a straight shot of authority down the leg. Check the rise. The waistband should sit at least 10 centimeters above your natural waist. If you can button your jacket and the seam of your jeans stays hidden, not bulging and not gapping, you are in the safe zone. This is your platinum armor, a high-rise stovepipe, ankle-skimming hem, and a jacket that nips at the waist. The formula works whether you are at Nordstrom, the Gap clearance rack, or hunting for vintage Levi's on Poshmark. Now, the mirror test. Turn sideways. Is the side seam still a straight line, or does it bow out at the calf? If you see a curve, check the measurement. The calf should never be more than 1.2 times its actual size. If you are staring at a hem that lands right on the widest part of your calf, you have been barrel trapped. Step out. Run your hand down the outer seam. It should feel continuous. No sudden bulge, no weird taper. If you are in a stovepipe, you will see a subtle taper from thigh to ankle, about 2 to 3 centimeters, not a cartoonish curve. Remember the jacket button rule. If your jacket closes neatly and the line is unbroken, you have nailed it. This is not just a checklist. It is a suit of armor for real life. When you wear stovepipe jeans with a crisp jacket, you are not just dressed, you are architecting your presence. The vertical line is your badge. Make it visible. Make it yours. Here is the real kicker. Marketing teams are banking on us mistaking modern for flattering, when in reality, the barrel jean geometry is sabotaging our vertical line and handing over our authority for free. In 2026, the status game is still rigged, and our platinum armor deserves better. You have worked too hard to get here. Do not let a pair of pants make you disappear. Let us keep building smarter wardrobes together. Drop your take in the comments.